Joining me now is UC Berkeley professor Dr. Olaf Groth. Thanks so much for being with us. Can you tell us how Trump and Harris would how their plans to tackle the economy and what that would mean for us here in the Bay Area? We know that Trump has sizable support in Silicon Valley, but how would their policies make an impact here?
Sure thing, Liz. So first of all, there are some similarities between both camps, right? You heard some of it, the child care, the child tax credit, the earned income tax credit might be another thing, not taxing tips, which
Excuse
is
me.
good for service workers in this area, and things of that nature. So there are some similarities here because both sides have actually realized that the nation is hurting, right? People aren't feeling the economy doing well, partially because of inflation, partially because of income disparity that's rising in the country. And so they're trying to address that, not surprisingly. Now, Harris is going full bore on that side, easing the pain on the demand side with even greater measures than Trump, whereas Trump is saying, look, on the supply side, I'm going to make sure that energy is a lot less costly for all of us, right? A lot of people driving to work. So he wants to lower energy costs for the average family by about 50%. We'll see how he would be able to do that, ostensibly by opening up additional drilling rights for oil and gas. And so he is stronger on that front. Now, on the international front, which is very important for us here in Silicon Valley, Trump has said he will put tariffs in place between 10% and 60%, depending on where in the world you are located. Whereas Harris, I think, is going to be tougher on antitrust, such as potential new rules of the game for the tech industry, potential breakups, et cetera. So, so on the enterprise side, I think enterprise executives will be dealing with very different implications for either of those two. On the working level, as it were, meaning, making sure that people in the ecosystem, anybody from teachers and baristas to entry-level workers and their families, are have an easier start and an easier time. I think both are going to have positive implications on that level.
So, a CBS News poll taken just before the DNC showed Trump had an edge with likely voters who say the economy is a major factor. We watched Kamala Harris, though. She says she's really going to go after housing, both building new housing and then incentives for first time home buyers. Do you think that that's enough for folks here in California, and especially the Bay Area, given the high cost of living?
Well, that's a really great question, Liz. The fear, of course, is that if you enable more demand, then more demand at stable supply will increase housing prices. So she would really have to come through with that supply side tax incentive to build greater supply. And there are all kinds of procedural issues and zoning issues, et cetera, tied up with that. But so she would definitely have to make sure that the supply can meet the demand, or else prices will continue to go up.
All right, I want to switch gears here for a moment to talk about the launch of the Polaris Dawn flight. That's tomorrow. It'll attempt to be the first ever commercial spacewalk. Tell us about this kind of new frontier in space economy, which just sounds so strange. It's like the future is here.
It sure is, and it's exciting, right? It's not getting a lot of news coverage just yet, but the launch tomorrow, if it goes well, is actually a seminal event for California's space economy. We field about a third of the United States space companies and about 1 in 10 globally. So this is big for us. And what's going on here is that Musk has paired up with a multi-billionaire, and they're leading this Polaris Dawn mission. And so what they're doing is they're going up to an orbit that is about as high as the Apollo era flights were. And to top it all off, they're going to be doing a spacewalk testing the new spacesuits. And so that'll be very exciting to watch. And what this really does is, if it goes well, it opens up the space economy for California, for the rest of the world, to private interests, right? These are billionaires funding this,
Mhm.
billionaires being astronauts. And that will, in fact, with paired with the model that SpaceX is driving of reusable rockets, right? Agile, fast development of technology will, in fact, make it more feasible for more people to play in that space economy. And that's good for us. And in fact, UC Berkeley has opened a new space center with NASA. And so that's the first indicator here that a lot of people are seeing a lot of potential for the state.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask you about that new space center. I mean, is the goal to become the new Caltech or maybe folks down in Florida to rival those places, Cape Canaveral. I was going to say, is that kind of the goal here?
No, I don't think we'll be launching rockets, although I think there
Okay.
are some experiments going on
Yeah.
passenger and things like that. But I think it's opening up space to the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And that's what's so exciting is that now undergraduate students can found their own startup ventures in the space industry. And that will unleash a lot of creative power, I think, for the state, which is a great thing.
Very exciting. All right, Dr. Olaf Groth, thank you so much.
Always good to be with you, Liz. Thank you.
Hi, thanks so much for watching. To view more content like this, we've selected some videos that we think you'll enjoy. And don't forget to like or click that button here on the bottom left of your screen to subscribe.